Hey, welcome back to the Unbiased Room. Here to talk some Texas football. Got my boy Ryan back again. And, we don't have a lot of good things to say, but we're gonna get into this conversation of what went down at the swamp and kind of give some outlook on, moving forward from here into the battle with OU and pretty much the rest of the season. Right. And where do we go from here? But Ryan, man, I'll let you kick it off, man.
Um, I hate Florida. I think I mentioned the last time I'm a Florida State grad. And, so I not only do I don't want to lose to Florida, but I despise everything that I don't know why that university even exists. And it was ugly, man. It was ugly. I think a lot of our thoughts on how this season was going to go was predicated on we weren't seeing the best team that we had, and I think we're kind of coming around to a point of this is the team that we have. This is what we've got. There's not going to be something magical that happens that's going to kick it up a notch and get everything in sync. It is what it is. These are your 2025 Texas Longhorns, and they're not very good.
Man, it was such a rough. I rewatched the game this morning. I'm waiting to see the all 22 view,
Mm.
right? But I rewatched the game this morning, man, and we can get into the bad. We can start with the bad. Um,
We'll start with the bad.
yeah, because we that's gonna be longer than the good. So
You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. My goodness. What do you think? What do you think is the worst thing from yesterday's game? What was the absolute worst?
our left guard and our right tackle
I was
turnstiles.
gonna say, I was just gonna say the offensive line, and yeah, and they were like New York turnstiles, like not even really working, just people flooding through. And we talked, during the game, of course. And if you don't have an O line, you don't have an offense, right? We had zero running game, and we had Wisner back for the whole game, and he's supposed to be a difference maker. Baxter's made a paper; he's out for however long. We didn't see Gibson once. I would have liked to see him, but we couldn't run block. We couldn't pass block, and Arch is running for his life game long. The offensive line is awful, and so my question for you, man, because we agree on that. What happened with that? We had a lot of production leave, a lot of production get drafted.
Yeah, four guys, man. We lost
Sure.
four guys to the NFL, which I get it, man. We only returned one starter in DJ Campbell, who wasn't bad yesterday. DJ Campbell was not bad. Why we weren't
No.
running to the right side, I have no idea. All of Sark's run calls were to the left, and for the life of me, I don't get it, man.
So what I'm
I
confused
don't get it.
about is is it a development issue? Are we not improving these guys year over year? Or,
Well,
is it
I don't
like a
want to
Jerry
say that.
Jones thing, like we like the guys that we got, but they stink. They're gonna. I don't know. Sure, we lost a lot of production, but how do you not plan for that? I guess is my biggest concern. Like you knew that was going to happen,
Yeah.
so you just went into this season with these dudes and said, "Yeah, those are my guys."
And
What?
so one of the things I think is, right, it's not like these guys are 2-star, 3-star recruit. These are 4 and 5-star guys. You know what I mean?
Some of them.
Yeah, there's a few high 3 stars in there. But when you have an offensive line, one, they need time to play together, right?
Hmm.
They need the O line is such a heavy on communication, especially from the
Hmm.
center, you
Yep.
know, blocking inside out, and they need that time to gel. And when you put 4 new starters in there, they say, "Oh yeah, they've been working together since spring ball." You're not playing nobody in spring ball. You know what I mean? You're not playing
Mm.
nobody in fall camp.
Well,
It
you're
makes
playing our
game.
defense.
Yeah, but game reps make a difference.
No, they do. They do.
Game
100%.
reps is not the same as practice reps, man. So I think it's gonna take time. Do I think we'll be okay moving forward? I have no idea. To be determined. Do I think that next year we will be better? 100%. Our
We have
team
to
is
be.
young. Our team is young. So I mean, we got one true freshman, two redshirt freshmen, a sophomore and a junior. That's like our line is young.
And I hear you, and I agree that offensive line takes reps to get right and to coalesce and become, a working unit. So where's the failure? Is the failure in development? Is it in talent evaluation? Because these guys are not getting it done. And if they're not good enough, why wasn't that addressed? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, why are we
Andy.
taking guys like Emmett Mosley in the portal, who's got great hands, but he's slow as hell, when
Yeah,
we can take a lineman?
yeah,
It doesn't matter if he's never played with these guys before. Neither have the guys that we have.
yeah. I mean, that's true, man. And I'm gonna put some of this on Sark just because his plays that he run are so intricate that you need to have athletic linemen, right? So if you don't have, remember last year we had very athletic linemen. If you don't have athletic linemen to run these pulls and these all these different things that linemen have in his offense, they don't have the feet for that. Outside of Trevor
Mm.
Gooseby, who played good yesterday, our left tackle Trevor Gooseby was good, but everybody's not him. He was a former basketball player, so he has great feet. Just line up and run the ball straight, man. Let these guys mow lawn. Let them go straight. Stop trying to
With
do
that.
all this fucking finesse shit. You know what I mean? And just run the fucking
Yeah,
ball, man.
I feel like when we can't execute these intricate Sark-esque plays, then we need to adjust. And it seems like we just kind of keep hammering down and, you know, put them some bitches in the eye
Yeah.
and line up across from a guy and hit him in the mouth and get yards that way. We
Go old
don't
school
need
wing T,
fancy.
man.
Yeah, baby, that's what we do at Texas, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's there. I don't know. There's a systemic failure somewhere up the line. I just don't know where it is. I don't know if it's Sark. I don't know if it's Flood. Somebody is missing the mark on either, like I said, development or evaluation, because we fielded these guys. And there's something else. We keep shuffling the guys around too.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
know necessarily that that's the best situation for them. We need these guys to get reps together, and
Yeah.
we keep moving pieces around for what? I
Well,
don't
I
know
tell you,
what.
they pulled Connor Stroh,
Mm,
who was playing left guard yesterday. He got pulled, man, because he was getting his ass whooped all night. And I was wondering what took so long for them to pull him. And they put Nick Brooks in, who was a lot better, but they didn't do that until the fourth quarter. Now he had some false starts, right?
yeah,
He had some
Nick Brooks
penalties.
can't hear. Yeah,
He can't hear, but
he's
he
deaf.
wasn't getting his ass whooped up front.
No, he sure wasn't. He sure
I
wasn't.
mean, he's a big boy. They should have had him in, I think, from the jump because Connor Stroh, he does not have good footwork. He is not a pass blocker at all, at all. And there's one play they tried to have him pull, which eh, I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Who is it? Brandon Baker. He's on my shit list every single week, man. That guy just I don't know what physical skills he have, but between the ears, he does not know how to play football. It's the
That
simple
dude is
things
frustrating to watch,
that he
man.
keeps that he keeps screwing up. It's false starts, it's holds, it's play after play after play after play. I don't know why that guy is
He
even
has
getting
bad
snaps right
feet
now.
and bad hands. How
And a
can you
bad
have
head.
both? It's like, hey, 5-star recruit.
All right.
5-star recruit, man. Yeah, sure was. He was I want to say the number 2 ranked tackle coming out of high school.
Mm,
Yeah.
well,
Behind
there's that, I guess.
he was the second tackle coming out of high school behind buddy from Alabama, Caden Proctor.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. who completed a pass last week,
Yeah.
who got a reception.
Yeah, yeah, running down the sideline.
So okay, we can agree then that the O line is hot garbage. For me, that's the biggest reason that we lost this game at Florida. If we can generate even a little bit more offense, we could have won that game. As horribly as we played, we finished one score down. And there's some arch interceptions and some things like that. But we could talk about that too. But I think with better O line performance, we can run the ball, which is going to take some pressure off of Arch, which is going to give him more time to get passes off. And like you said, we don't have an O line, we don't have an offense. And yesterday we had zero O line. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What are you gonna do? So outside the old line, right, we can move on to some more stuff.
Okay.
Let's go to the other side of the ball. The defensive line. My goodness. They were getting pushed on their heels and stood up all night long, which makes it hard for your linebackers to clean up, right? If your D line is not getting the push, your linebackers are ineffective. And that's what happened. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Hill had a good game because he, in the stats, is going to show that he had fucking 15 tackles, right? He had a hell of a
Right.
night.
Right.
But when you watch the game, D line, no penetration.
Getting
Now,
hammered.
granted, Billy Napier was none of the throws that DJ Lagway made. There were no long developing routes. Everything was quick. He was getting the ball out of his
Mm,
hands quick. But for the running game, they were getting 4 yards. I think they averaged 4.5 yards on the ground, 4.5 yards per rush on the ground. And what
despicable.
was pissing me off is that some plays, it should have been a 4 yard loss, 5 yard loss, 3 yard loss. It's tackles. They had old Jaden Ball, Mr. Sweet Feet back there. You know, he was good at hitting the holes, man. He was finding them. He was finding them creases.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Jada Ball. He's a good back. And he's slick and he's shifty. He's hard to get down. But I'll agree with you, and I mentioned something like that during the game when we were talking too. It just seems like we're over pursuing. I don't know if it's because of the weather, but Sark says we handle wet balls in practice all the time. Pause. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it seemed like we just couldn't get home on tackles. And as far as the D line, yeah, they got kind of embarrassed because we got ran all over. I think Buddy had 100 yards by like the second quarter.
He had 97 yards going into halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, close. But
Yeah.
I mean,
But the
that's
second
a big
half, he
day.
didn't do it. I mean, he finished the game with 107. I want to say, I mean, we turned the game around in the second half.
Yeah,
So, but we
but
shouldn't
I
have to
mean, if
play from behind, man. This is,
not against Florida, not against a dude who threw 5 picks in one game, and we made DJ Lagway look like an all-star.
yes. And, one of the things that I want to talk about is why we were playing such soft coverage and not sending any blitzes on that very first drive, right? We elected to give them the ball and take the ball at halftime. And we were not aggressive at all in that first drive, like zero aggression, playing off. The corners were like, shit, man, I don't know, 10 yards off the wide
Yeah,
receiver.
way off, way off,
And we weren't sending any pressure, right? Maybe we were thinking we can get home with 4. But when it's not working, you have to switch it up because they were
for
able to
sure.
drive right down the field and score a touchdown, man. And you got him in his field. "Oh, I feel good now. Billy Napier, I feel good now." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that first drive, I kind of took it as, it's the opening drive. It's scripted. You're never going to look as good as you do on your first drive, unless you're Texas, because we always look better later because our first drive usually sucks.
Yes,
But yeah,
100%.
the lack of pressure, I didn't understand either. And it didn't really change throughout the game either. We would send guys, piecemeal here and there, but the defensive game plan to me also was very puzzling. We made that same remark. Why are the guys playing so far off? Um, and come to find out, especially with Dallas Wilson getting his first game play, that guy's a stud, and maybe he needs a cushion, because you never know. You might just get knocked down and fall on your ass and then get a touchdown run on you. That's a thing that happened.
Yeah. Kobe
Yeah, yeah,
Black out there getting embarrassed.
the defensive game plan was strange. Again, I think it was good enough. I don't think it was good, but it was good enough for us to win. Some of these scores happened on some bullshit, like oh boy getting knocked
Yeah.
over, and then what was it, McDonald, trying to arm tackle that guy when he can bust a dude. What are you thinking
Yeah.
there, dude?
You know what he did? It wasn't the arm tackle. It was him trying to punch the ball out instead of making the tackle. He comes over trying to hit the ball out instead of wrapping up.
Come on, man, just hit that dude, put him on the
Just
ground.
hit
But
that dude. Yeah.
there's a lot of stupid things that happened that led to their scores, and I don't think we played a great defensive game. But again, I think it was good enough. Let's talk
Yeah.
about
It was good
Colin
enough to win a game.
Simmons. Good enough to win. So Colin Simmons, in the beginning of the season, I think on our first episode, you asked if I thought he was going to get the single season sack record like he said he was going to, and I remember saying, I don't give a damn. I want him to show up and make an impact. I don't care how many
Yeah.
sacks he got, and he did that, and then he didn't do that. There was that one series where Colin Simmons kept the entire Florida offense from getting a first down on his own.
On his own.
On his own. Magnificent play. Wild. That was great. And then not again. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Series after that, he was getting stood up
Getting stood up.
like date night.
Get that
Terrible.
back arch. Just like, what are you doing, man? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an effort issue. I don't know again if it's scheming and they had him doing something different there. The whole game is just weird. And I don't understand it. The defensive game plan, the offense, I understood. We tried to do the same things that we always do and couldn't execute them like we haven't really all season. But the secondary was good enough. I think the secondary is the strength of our defense this year, which pains me to say because Colin Simmons can be a stud if he feels like it. And
Yeah.
I'm a big Ethan Burke guy, but we haven't really heard from him all season. So the secondary is lights out. Grayson Littleton, Jelani McDonald, Taft Daddy back there. There's some dudes.
Hey, man, I want to pause and I want to give some respect to Grayson Littleton, man, because what he's doing back there as a true freshman, oh my goodness. He's going to be a
Yeah,
freshman All-American. He's going to be a freshman All-American.
absolutely needs to be a freshman All-American
Yeah.
because he's going to get pressured because of the way that our D-line and linebackers are playing. So he's going to have the opportunity to shine, unfortunately. But he's showing out. And that guy was at prom a few months ago. So, shout out to him. That guy's a baller. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I think, it's just strange, man. It's strange. What was, you don't get a feeling of like a cohesive plan that
Yeah.
was in place. It was just like playing cover two and seeing what happens in front of you and not actually trying to dictate the pace of the game using the defense.
And, when so I'm going to switch back over to the offense. Florida was able to get home with 4 most of the night. Every so often they sent a linebacker. Uh, for the most part, they were able to get home with 4. And I was on the message boards and some guy, man, was just talking. Oh, if we had Quinn still, we would have won that game. I'm like, hey, bro, if we would have had Quinn would have been sacked 16 times last night. What are you,
Quinn
what are you
was
talking about?
immobile in that pocket. Yeah.
And I love Quinn, man, because he has such a pretty touch on his balls, and
I'm a Quinn dude too.
yeah,
But yeah, Quinn is not built for that revolving saloon door of an offensive line that
mm-mm,
we put out there.
mm-mm.
Nah. Nah, that would have been even uglier. So
Yes,
I'm gonna pivot then and talk about the one good thing I saw out of the Texas football team. And I'm gonna say that's Arch Manning because Arch played his absolute balls off. There's a difference between the look of a guy who is in over his head and trying to slow the game down and has no idea what's going on, and the look of a guy who is in the moment and trying to put the team on his back. And I think, the former was Arch against Ohio State, and I think the latter was Arch yesterday.
100% agree.
Given what he had to work with, which was zero protection ever, I think he balled, man. He had some dumb picks, but they weren't. He's trying to win. He's trying to play hero ball, and he has to because he's literally the only offense we had. That guy was the only offensive production. The running game was completely non-existent. Nothing except for again Arch's legs. So the best thing I saw from us yesterday. And there's a
Which
lot
I
of
wish, real quick, which I wish Sark would have used earlier. I think Sark waited too long to use his Arch's legs.
yeah. It
The
seems like
actual
Sarge.
QB design run,
Yeah,
not
it
him
seems
taking
like
off on his
Arch
own.
is pretty hesitant to run, or Sark, excuse me, is pretty hesitant to run Arch, and why wouldn't you? That's your guy. You don't want him, just running the ball and taking hits and stuff like that. But the kid's fast and the kid's shifty and the kid's good, and that adds an element to the offense. And when we're getting zero push in the run game, I mean, what we finish with like 18 rushing yards aside from
Well, Arch had 37.
right. What did Wisner have? 8,
I think we finished with
something like that.
15.
15, excuse me. 15.
Yeah,
I misspoke.
15 rushing yards
So
between three other
15
running
rushing
backs.
yards aside from Arch's yards. So, do something to win. And, there's going to be a lot of talk about how awful Arch is and how, he'd be working at McDonald's if it wasn't for his last name. But Arch wasn't the problem yesterday. Arch balled given what he had to work with, especially toward the end of the game. That last touchdown that we got, it didn't make a bit of difference, but my man kept his eyes up, kept his eyes downfield, was cognizant of the scrimmage line, and made sure to deliver the ball while running for his life and threw strikes. And
Yeah,
threw
he did.
strikes. He threw dots. He was hitting dudes, and I was, I guess, encouraged by Arch's performance because he was the only thing that worked. And, he could have done better, but how much better can you really do when, God, that offensive line, when that's what you have to work with? What are you going to do?
Yeah. Oh, you're right,
What are you
man.
going to do? I don't know.
You're absolutely correct. Now that game is over and we got dropped from the top AP poll, top 25,
That's pretty
which I
disrespectful.
don't
We'll be
care
like
about, but
8 or 9 to
it
off
went
to like off the
9 to
pole,
off.
9 to off.
Yeah. But, right, I think there's some bias there, man, because Notre Dame started off the season 0-2 and they were still in the top 25. I
Yeah.
just want to throw
Yeah.
that out there. So there's
I don't know.
maybe a little bit
The
of Texas
rankings
hate
never
right
really
there.
matter a whole lot to me. If you beat the people that you're supposed to beat in front of you, then you're going to be where you want to be at the end of the season. So
Yes.
I don't give it. I don't like being ranked number one. I hated that shit when we started out this season because that just comes with a whole bunch of talking points and expectations that we didn't need clearly.
Yep.
But I still kind of found it funny today when I read the poll and saw that we weren't anywhere on it.
And in the coaches poll, we are 19th and Penn State is 22nd. I don't want to get into Penn State too much, but holy UCLA, 0-4 UCLA, man,
Hey, what can we
in
really
front of like
talk?
an empty stadium.
Oh man, all 10 of them tried to rush the field and they got all of them arrested. I'm not going to dog Penn State too much. UCLA is 0-4, but Florida is 1-3.
That's true.
And the only real wins that we have are against the Sisters of the Poor. So I made that comment yesterday that I see a lot of similarities between us and Penn State. Just
Yeah.
hyped up, and then can't get the job done when it comes down to it. So but on to the next, I guess.
Yeah. But I will say, Florida is not. People were trashing them prior to the game. Florida this, Florida that. They're 1-3. Those losses were close losses. They were in both that game with Miami and LSU. They had a chance to beat LSU. and clock management, mismanagement, Billy Napier not using his timeouts, using his timeouts at the wrong time.
Yeah, he did some of that dumb shit at the end of this
And
game
even
too.
even though DJ Lightweight threw 5 interceptions, they still had a chance to win the game. So
They
that
did.
tells you how good Florida's defense is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with it. I don't I wasn't expecting I certainly wasn't expecting to lose to Florida. I didn't think, playing at the Swamp was going to be a cakewalk. I think I predicted something along the lines of 31-14, something like that. But, I expected our defense to be playing at a much higher level than they did. And then, kind of our offense to have figured some things out. But, like we led with, I think this is
Yeah,
what we got. I think this is
yeah.
this, you know, this is what we're going to roll with. So here it goes.
You know what week it is, man. Next topic is
And happy hate week to you.
yes, happy hate week to you. So outlook, man. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Tier or
Ugh,
without material doesn't matter.
I think you're right. It doesn't matter. I mean, fuck them. You sucks. I don't see how we're going to pull this game out, though. They're going to be amped out of their skulls for a chance to drive another nail into the 2025 Texas coffin. And Michael Hawkins is a receiver playing quarterback. Again, if our defense comes out with the same game plan, they don't even have to do that much. And realistically, how many points are we going to score?
Yeah, OU's defense is good.
OU's defense is not a cakewalk. So how many points are we going to put up that
I
they
want to
have
say
to
they're a
match?
top 10 defense in the country.
Yeah. So I hate them, and I hate everything. I hate that they breathe and everything about their fans and their stupid trap house stadium and their stupid city, everything. But I can't see us pulling this game out. The realistic part of me says that yeah, we're gonna lose this one. And honestly, I don't think it'll be that close. I think we're gonna go down early and we're gonna fight through the middle of the game and then give up some bullshit kind of the same way that we did in this game. And I see something like I don't know, 38-14. Ugh.
So the only thing that gives me, I want to say hope, not really hopeful, not really hopeful, but one of the things that OU does not do well is run the ball. They do not run the ball at all. John Mateer was their leading rusher prior to him
Right.
getting injured. So they have no running back run game whatsoever. Think they ran the ball a little bit this past weekend, but they played Kent State. Nobody. So if there's a glimmer of, light at the end of that tunnel, it's going to be OU's inability to run the ball on Texas defense.
Yeah, and I think that plays into, our biggest strength on defense, which is the secondaries.
Yeah, forcing them to throw the ball.
I can see that being a point of contention. Plays, I don't know, man. It's going to depend on which team comes out. And honestly, I don't want to hype up this Hawkins versus Mateer thing, but Mateer can make that offense hum a lot better than Hawkins can. The only film that we have from him is against Kent State, and then whatever it was
Well, we
last
played
year
them
when we
last year.
stomped them out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
34-3. Take that. Um, he sucks, but he doesn't have to do a whole lot. And again, depending on what kind of game plan we come out with, if we just give these guys cushions and the defensive line gets pushed around, then they can do whatever they want. I think it's going to come down again to our offensive production. Are we even going to be able to put up points? I don't think a week is long enough to get the O-line issues fixed. So you kind of have to think that we're going to be rolling into this next game with that O-line performance, right? And so if you start with that, we started the show. If you don't have an O-line, you don't have an offense. What are we going to be able to do?
So, I do think that OU has, I want to say, they probably got two of the best D tackle like duo in the SEC. That being said, when they played Auburn, I don't know what Auburn was doing, right? That wasn't in the weeds in that game because it's not Texas, but
Right.
Jackson Arnold, he had time to throw versus OU, and he just was not getting rid of the ball. Bro, there were times where he had 4 seconds, 5 seconds to throw the ball, and he's just taking sacks. And I'm like, this kid is terrible. If Arch has 4 or 5 seconds to throw,
He's going to hit
that's
dots.
a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. I would have to think that as much as Sark is getting paid, he's watching that Auburn film too, you know, because you would have to think he knows he has to shore up that O line somehow. I can't see us being able to move the ball on the ground. So, it's going to be one of those classic Big 12 games where we're both just airing it out, and whoever makes the better plays wins.
Bring up the Florida thing again, but Sark's play calling. We had, I think I counted 3 screen passes to the running backs for 36 yards. That's successful, right?
That's successful.
Didn't do it anymore. Don't understand it. Hey, man, go with what works.
Yeah,
It worked 3
I'm
times. Do
with
it a
you.
4th. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
with you.
come
And,
on,
and,
man.
to dip back into that Florida game a little bit, it does seem like the offense was again just out of sync. Wingo's pass to Endries, he was right there, just a little overthrown. But again, Wingo's a receiver. You don't expect him to be able to just beam the ball out there. Arch missed a couple of guys that were wide open or behind the D.
Yes, he did.
So, it was there. I think that Stark can scheme guys open. It's just a matter of being able to execute. And maybe the guys that we have right now just aren't able to execute that well. So, concordantly, maybe we see a different game plan against OU. You would think that Sark's been at Texas long enough that he understands that this game will make or break the season.
Yeah.
So, we need to win this game. And whatever you have saved up for the whole season, this is when you unleash it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. This is the time.
I don't, yeah, I don't care if we win every other game. If we lose to OU, that's a shitty season because you got to hear those clowns talk about it all year long.
Listen, we can go 4-8, right? Well, because no. We got 3 wins already. So we can go 5-7. I don't give a fuck. As long as we
Mhm.
beat OU and we beat A&M. Everything else,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
even if, hey, I don't care if we made the playoffs, man. We fucking beat you.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what we got to hear from those clowns if we lose to them and still have a season whatnot. This is it. This is the game for Sark to show out. So I'm curious to see what happens. You would have to think that he's playing pretty vanilla against Sam Houston State and San Jose State, these bullshit teams. We had like no offense against Ohio State. And then we showed flashes against Florida, but
State
just
game.
couldn't
Jesus.
execute.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a matter of putting the pieces. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know what to make of this Texas team at this point in the season. I can see us winning every game on the rest of the schedule, and I can also see us losing every game on the rest of the schedule. You know what I mean?
It's that bad, man. Yeah.
It's not good. If we play like we did, we're not going to beat a whole lot of the teams left. Kentucky, probably, they're awful, but that's still an SEC squad.
Yeah.
Those guys getting scholarships
And
too,
that's the thing, man.
so
If every team that we have left on the schedule, they're gonna come to play ball, man. They're gonna come play ball. So
we're Texas. We're Texas. Everybody wants to beat Texas. The
yeah.
voters want to beat Texas. That's why they voted us all the way out the damn poll after losing one game. So you're going to get every team's best shot. But, and then Sark said before the Ohio State game that he understands that and that, we just embrace being the villain. Except that right now we're like the Scooby Doo villain who gets tied up to the chair and his mask pulled off. I'd have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's no teeth. Like, we don't have a whole lot of goals left in the season. So let it hang, man. Like just go for it. Fuck it all. Do whatever. Figure something out with this O line. First of all, run some screens. Run some friggin' wide receiver passes again. My goodness. Get Jack Endries involved, man. That kid transferred here and we're just abusing his year of eligibility. That kid's so good.
He is. And, 2 plays, man, that, I would love to have back, right? That pass, that wide receiver pass that Ryan
Mhm.
Wingo Can't. He's wide open.
He is
He's wide,
wide open,
and
but
he
like,
just sailed that shit, man. Hey, he could have put the softest touch on that ball, and I mean, he would. There was nobody within 10 yards of him. He's running the fucking green grass. You know what I mean?
if Ryan
Oh
Wingo could
man,
throw dots, he'd be playing quarterback, though. I mean, you
I didn't
can't
need him
ever
to throw
be.
a dot. I needed him to make the ball catchable. Man.
It wasn't too
Good.
far out, right? Like it was like right on the fingertips, wasn't it?
I don't know. He didn't touch the fingertips. Nah,
Then,
he didn't touch his fingertips. Yeah. If he would have touched his
I
fingertips,
mean,
I would have blamed him. I was, hey man, you could have dove for that. You know what I mean?
I wanted that play too, but when you run some shit like that, I don't ever get too mad that it doesn't work out because what do you expect out of having Ryan Wingo throw a pass? He can't block. He can barely catch. What does that guy even do? He don't throw passes. So,
The other play I would like to have back is when Grayson Littleton forced that fumble and Michael
mm,
Taft went right by it. I said, "Oh my goodness!" To start the game like that would have been insane.
yeah,
Because that's a soul. That's
yeah,
a soul killer right there, man.
yeah. And I'm a big Taft guy. We've talked about it. So, I
Yeah,
gotta
old
believe
Taft
that
Daddy.
Taft Daddy. I got his jersey. So, I gotta believe that he was trying to make a play and wasn't expecting the ball to come out and had a good angle because the guy's a good safety. He's an All
Yeah, yeah.
American. So,
Uh-huh.
it would have again. That's one of those where it would have been nice, but you know, it's a bang bang play, and sometimes you're not in the right position. But yeah, I would have liked that ball. I would like that ball. I would have liked Wingo to put a little bit better touch. I would have liked while we're in magical fairyland, I would have liked Arch to get a whole lot more protection to do anything more
Yeah.
than what he got.
And that deep shot that he threw to Wingo and to triple coverage that Wingo should have caught. It bounced. I mean, it hit his hands about 5 times.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey
I don't
man,
know
Mr.
what's
Five
going
Star,
on.
Mr. Five Star, make that play, man.
Yeah. And I think we're discovering, I think, it's been well established that Sark doesn't like to rotate a lot of skill guys. Right? He's never really done that. He finds his 3 or 4 guys, his 3 or 4 receivers, and those are the dudes that he's gonna roll with, and he's gonna rotate them in positions throughout the field, but, we're not getting any Jamie French time. Who's the other guy?
Khalid Lockett, no
Lockett.
Khalid
We're not
Lockett
getting
time.
we're not getting any Lockett time.
We did get some Dalen McCutcheon time though. He had one catch for 26 yards.
Yeah, yeah, and McCutcheon's a dog. Um,
Football IQ, man. That's why he's getting on the
yeah.
field. He picked up Sark's playbook in 1 month. They said, and he's a hell of a route runner. So
Well, and so, we see these struggles with these guys, and I would like to see, you make a bonehead play or you get exposed not blocking, sit your ass down for a couple series and let another guy get some reps in. What's going to happen? He's not going to catch the ball either, or he's not going to block. It can't get much worse, but that's kind of a Sark thing that we've noticed now over a couple of seasons is he finds his dudes and he sticks with those guys. Like this Emmett Mosley experiment that we're running. I said yesterday the guy's a short tight end. He's slow. He's got great hands, but
great
he's
hands.
not
Yeah, he
he's
got great
not
hands.
creating separation and he's not outrunning anybody. So,
He's a great blocker on the outside too.
well,
In the screen
at
in the
least we
screen
got
game.
one. We got
Yeah.
one.
DeAndre Moore is also a good blocker on the outside.
DeAndre Moore is an excellent blocker. Yeah, DeAndre Moore is a dude, and I wish we
Yeah,
could have
does the
seen more of
dirty work,
him. But
man. I like him, man. Does
yeah,
the dirty work.
yeah, yeah. But man, all that to say, the OU game every year is wild. It's never going to go the way that you think it's going to go. Nobody was expecting 49
No.
and then, nobody really expects 34-3. Nobody expected Charlie Strong to win the Golden Hat. So there's there's
Yeah.
something to be said for that game, and to me that seemed like an Arch type game, right? Like you came to Texas, you're here to beat Oklahoma. If there's a time to be flexing on dudes and talking your shit, it's not Sam Houston State, which just looks all the more cringy now that we lost to Florida. It's against OU, ball out, have a game, let them hang, do some dumb shit, make some big mistakes, and get some big wins in there. You never know what's going to happen. Like I said, I can't see us putting up a whole lot of points against that D, but Auburn figured it out, and you got to think that we're a better coaching staff than Auburn. You would hope.
You would hope.
You would hope. So I'm not terribly worried about the OU offense. Excuse me. If they get Mateer back, that's a whole thing. I would think that he's trying to get back for that game, but you know, especially with the throwing hand injury, you don't want to push it. So he might be and he might not. But we need the defense to be more impactful and less responsive. And I kind of think that's how they were this past weekend, where they just reacted to what was happening instead of trying to actually dictate the pace of the game themselves. So
Yeah.
if maybe Sark's gonna get in that ass all week long, and there's gonna be some laps run and some Oklahoma drills had and some puking to be done. But don't repeat that performance. This is the game. This is the game that will get you fired at Texas.
Yeah.
Not winning this game
Yeah. And do I think that
will get
even if he had a bad year, I don't think they would fire him?
no. And I don't say that to mean that I think Sark's job is in jeopardy. I think some of the other coaching staff maybe need to get evaluated. But you start dropping games to OU over and over and over, and there's only so much that we can take, that the fan base can take, that the donors can take. They want to beat OU. They want to beat A&M. That's what being Texas football means. So, yeah,
And
I don't
he
think Sark's
is
seat is hot, but
no. He's 2-2 versus OU. Yeah.
which is
2 and
not
2 versus
great.
OU. No. He should, I mean, that game that not last year before last, we won last year before last, when they won on that last play of the game, that blown coverage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm, mm, mm.
that's just one of the things that comes with taking the Texas job. You got to beat OU, and
And
especially
A&M now that
considering
they're back.
and especially considering that your counterpart is Brett Vegetables.
But,
Shout out to the old Chuck Effin Strong account.
yeah.
You remember that? You ever see that guy?
Yeah.
Chuck Effin Strong? Oh my God. Brett Vegetables. But yeah, that guy can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. So I mean, there's no reason, given the talent levels, that we should lose this game, but I can easily see how it would happen. It's kind of like I said earlier. I can see us winning every single game over the rest of the season, and I can easily see us losing every single game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't know what the line is, if the line has came out yet, but
Three and a
I'm
half
pretty
for Texas. The unranked team is favored over the ranked team by 3.5 points. Last time I checked.
Vegas is trying to make money.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't understand that either, but
Vegas is trying to make money.
yeah, the line was 3.5 last time I saw it. So they're expecting a touchdown game.
Huh.
I don't know.
Well, we shall see, man.
We will see. We
Appreciate
will
you
see.
hopping
It's
on,
going.
man,
But yeah,
and
no problem. No problem.
going through this, and we'll be back
It
on
hurts.
again
It hurts, but I'm happy to do it. This is one of
for
the
sure.
the less fun episodes that we've done.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. More to come though. Well, I
For
appreciate you
sure.
guys tuning in to the Unbiased Room. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, and tell a friend.